Well, I hope everybody's been enjoying the musical compositions that I've been uploading to social media here. These are all, of course, original pieces that I composed on the piano, and you might remember some of them from a year or two back. I shared them when I was actually creating them, as I was getting myself acclimated to using the piano. I had never played one like this before. So it was all sort of happening together. I had these musical compositions in my head, and I needed to, at least in the most basic way possible, learn the piano as quickly as possible to get those notes out before I lost them. I've had many songs over the years that I've lost because I didn't really ever put it down. I'm no musician, but there's times where I have these musical insights that I like to get out, and that's what we've been doing here. But what I've not been able to share with you is what I actually hear in my head when I'm composing these. And these have been written with a particular Broadway style in mind. If it had been on Broadway, what would it sound like? Well, I can kind of hear that in my head, but I can't really share that with all of you. But now I can. I hadn't been able to before, but now I can, because AI has reached the point where I don't have to wait for somebody to say, okay, let's arrange it professionally. I don't have to wait for someone to say, hey, you know what? I'd like to sing this. And they're a professional singer who can actually carry these kinds of notes. Let's get it recorded. Many have said that they were interested in doing that, but it never actually happened. So now AI is at a point where I can give them my musical compositions on piano, and with the tools available, create the sound that it was intended for, which is like if it was going to be played on Broadway, what would that sound like? Now we know. If we had a professional Broadway singer sing it, what would that sound like? Now we know. I think that can be threatening to some people in the industry, because AI is getting really good at this, as you can see from these compositions. AI is getting really good at this, but I don't think, what's really being considered here is a bad thing, because people like me who don't have the kind of commitments or networks within the industry, the music industry, would never be able to hear these sounds the way we can hear them now. Because the amount of money that would be expected to pay to get these professionally produced and sung by these kinds of singers would be something that just without the right connections you could not achieve. So now a lot of people who have this kind of creativity are able to realize it without having to be held back by the monetization of art. And that's really what it comes down to. When people are upset about AI and fearing that, this is going to hurt the music industry, it's going to hurt the, performing arts, all this stuff. I have to take a step back and say, are you really upset about that? Or are you really more concerned about the fact that you're not going to be able to make millions or billions of dollars making this art? Because now anybody can realize their inner artistic ability. Because if it's really about the art, you'd be happy about that. If it's about the money, yeah, I could see why you'd be upset. Personally, I don't think the art is about the money. And it's nice to be able to compose these just for the sake of the compositions themselves. These are songs that would have never gotten out any other way. So I'm happy that AI is here, but in the process of getting all this out to you, I realized that Before the Dark, one of my songs, you never heard the original. I don't think I ever shared the original piano piece. You've got of course, the professional arrangement, but you've never heard the original piano. So let me play that for you now, so that you have the original and you can see just what AI heard, and how, with my help and using various prompts and making various adjustments with the tools available, that we were able to produce that wonderful recording that you heard before. Okay, here it is, the original.
off like fools in the rain. No weight to carry, just hearts unchained. But now we're tangled in words unsaid, fighting ghosts that live in our heads. Do remember the fire before we built this wall higher? Can we go back to simple, where love was enough? No need for answers, no need to be tough. Just you and me underneath that old sycamore tree. We chase the clock, but it runs too fast, clinging to moments that never last. Your eyes still shine, but they feel so far, like a wish I made